If you go on Google and you type in my name, Derek spacebar Su, and you hit enter, you'll notice the website not only appears, my homepage, but also my other pages, like my about page, my recommendation page, my courses page, my contact page, and so forth. You'll notice it's taken up a lot of space, no? It's almost taken up more than 60% of my screen. And in this video, I'm going to give you guys 5 SEO tips that I personally use, which will help you rank for SEO in 2026. Yay! Let's start it off with point number 1. Compress all assets, fix aspect ratios, and this specifically helps with performance SEO. So it should come at no surprise that everybody wants everything right now. We live in a very attention span economy and ain't nobody got time to wait. So we want to make sure that our website loads as fast as possible, and this is mostly achieved by compressing the biggest assets, which is typically images as well as videos. I've actually done a tutorial specifically on how to compress your videos the best using Handbrake, so feel free to check that out. Definitely do that. And the second thing is to compress images. So the easiest way to compress images is head over to your asset library, or you hit J, and you'll notice, for example, I have some JPEG images. And JPEG isn't necessarily the best or most optimal file size for the web. It's actually WebP or something called AVIFF. So go ahead and hit this 3-dot icon and hit Edit Settings. You'll notice that this image is almost taking up half a megabyte or 429 KB. What we can do is we can actually hit Select right here and go ahead and select all our assets, or we can go ahead and select the ones that we want. We can just hit this really handy tool called Compress Asset, and this gives us 2 options. I typically go with WebP, so I'll go ahead and hit compress, and you'll notice this goes ahead and compresses all the images via Webflow. Right now it's done. If we go back to the exact same image and hit Edit Settings, you'll notice this is now 144 KB. It also said that I saved about 73% of file size. This is really good thing. Another thing to note is in regards to aspect ratio. I've already done a tutorial in the past, so feel free to check that out in regards to images and aspect ratios. But the high level overview is that typically we build websites in a container. Let's say the container is 1650 pixels wide. If we go back to my website as an example, you'll notice there's a lot of white space on the left hand side and the right hand side. This is because if you look at our website on an ultra wide monitor, let's go ahead and pull up a footage right here, this still has white space on the left and the right. Therefore, in my specific case, there's no point uploading an image to be bigger than 1920 pixels wide. It just simply will never show. So we want to make sure, again, this is very situational, images aren't like 4000 pixels in resolution, because that'll take up so much file size. We can go ahead and compress them or change the aspect ratio to be much less. So you'll notice if I go back to my website, this specific image right here is probably not wider than 1000 or even 800 pixels, because I know that I have a container right here. So ideally, you want to upload your images similar to that div ratio for the maximum compression. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on to point number 2. Optimize all SEO metadata. So this is where your actual search appearance will happen. Heading back into Google, you'll notice this is saying something very specific, like Derek Su - freelance web designer and Webflow developer. This is literally the title tag, and below that is literally the meta description. I'm Derek Su, a freelance UI UX designer. So using certain keywords is very fantastic, although this specific tutorial isn't going to be talking about keywords. If you guys want that video, please leave a comment saying, keywords, we want that video made. Please give it to me, made. What this specific point is saying is to add the title tag and meta description. In order to do this, we head back into Webflow and we can go ahead and hit the pages right here, and we can go ahead and hit the settings of each page, and we want to make sure that there is an appropriate title tag. We can go ahead and put the mouse over the question mark, and it suggests that you should keep it under 60 characters. You'll also notice there's a button called generate right here. So if I actually clear this specific field, I can go ahead and generate. And this is the most recent Webflow update, which I've done a tutorial in the past. Check that out as well. If you hit generate, this will make Webflow's AI automatically crawl your website and generate you an SEO optimized title tag if you're too lazy to write it yourself. So as you can see, it suggested me Derek Su, freelance Webflow developer and design Sydney. That's pretty good, guys. You'll also notice you can do the exact same for meta description. So this is the text that appears below that title. And again, it's suggesting certain character length. So make sure you adhere to that. And the next thing is to make sure you do this through every single page. And finally, if you have any CMS pages, you can do this by hitting that gear icon in the collection page. And you'll notice right here, we can pull in CMS fields. So I've actually made a tutorial of CMS in the past, so check out my channel. And you can go ahead and pull in the name of the tutorial, and you can go ahead and just add a long word after that to rank even better for your keywords. And for the meta description, we can actually pull in a specific field in the CMS where we write the meta description for SEO. So I strongly recommend that. Again, to do this, we'll go into collections. I'll head over to my tutorials collection right here. I'll go into settings right here. And you notice I have a specific field called meta description SEO. That way I can go through each one of my CMS items and have a dedicated targeted SEO description right here, which is being pulled into Google. This is a very, very important step in order to rank. Let's move on to point number 3. Clean up bloated code in Webflow, and this is going into the more advanced stuff. So like I said in point number 1, mostly we want to reduce our file size of our website so it can load faster. And by loading faster, this greatly affects SEO. I've already said images and videos take up the most space. However, we can also clear up unused CSS classes and interactions. So again, I've already done a tutorial on the box model and CSS classes, which is the fundamentals of Webflow. So if you're doing stuff like div block 1, div block 2, or if your website doesn't seem to have some sort of structure and it's just all over the place, you're writing unnecessary CSS classes. And if you're going to scale your website, this will eventually eat up more and more space. Although CSS classes don't take up that much space, especially compared to images, this is not good best practice. So we can actually go ahead and hit this button right here, style selectors or G, and this will show all our CSS classes that we made. I have 91 in total, and we can go ahead and clear them by hitting this button right here, clean up unused styles, and this will go ahead and clear all the unused styles. So I'm going to hit delete, and this will just delete all the 91 unused CSS classes. The next thing we can also do is on the right hand side, we can hit interactions right here, making sure that the version is stuck to classic interactions. We can go ahead and clean up unused interactions as well. Another thing we can do is we can go ahead and reduce custom code. So again, this is a bit more advanced, but if you added custom code yourself, which again, I've done a tutorial in the past, either in the page settings or in the site settings, or even in like a global class, we can go ahead and delete the ones that don't make sense. So for example, if I go into my tutorials template page, you'll notice I have some code in my body tag right here. Is this code even necessary? If it's not, just delete it. That way it makes the website load faster. So delete unnecessary code. And lastly, we can go ahead and head over to site settings. We can go ahead and optimize our site even more. In our site settings, we can go ahead and head over to publishing, and we can go ahead and scroll down, and we can tick a couple of settings. Usually what I do is I minify the HTML, I minify the CSS, and I minify the JS. And this will save a bit of space and make your website load faster. So that's that. Let's move on to point number 4. Fix structure and technical SEO settings minus keyword. So heading back to Webflow, what we can make sure that we do is we can select specific heading text and make sure that we're only using the correct header. So for example, if we go into settings for this specific text, this is using a header 1 tag, a H1 in the HTML code. And this should only be used one time per page, ideally. Of course, there's exceptions, but in general, you should only have one heading 1 in the specific page. Then you want to have a heading 2 inside of a heading 1, and then a header 3 inside of a header 2. So in this specific case, it wouldn't make sense for me to write a heading in this specific section and put heading 5. The reason why is because there is no heading 4 in this section. There is no heading 3, only heading 2. You know what I mean? So have only one H1 per page, then have H2 inside H1, then H3 inside H2. Typically, I don't go beyond H3, H4 maximum, definitely not H5 or H6. So be very careful of that. The next thing you can also do is open up your layer panel, and you'll notice I built my site to have some sort of structure. Like we have a page wrapper, and then we have different sections. Inside the section, we have a container. We go into the div block and hit the settings on the right hand side. You'll notice we can actually tag that specific div block. So we can go ahead and click that tag, and this necessarily isn't a header. So this is actually tagged incorrectly. In this case, it's really just a container, doesn't convey much information, so we can just turn it into a div. But you'll notice there's different tags. We also have a footer tag, a navbar tag, a main tag, a section tag, article, address, and figure. So in this case, I'll just put this to be a div with my specific section right here. I can go ahead and make sure it's tagged section, which it already is. And if I have an article or nav bar right here and go ahead and open this global instance, I want to make sure that this is tagged nav. I can also go into my footer section right here and I can go ahead and make sure that this is tagged as footer. So this is how Google crawls your HTML. Google isn't really a human being. They're not going to look at your website. They don't really have eyes or a brain or a heart, but they're going to look at the code, the HTML code. Because if you remember, guys, if we go back into Webflow right here and we'll go into export code right here, again, all Webflow is doing is writing clean and semantic HTML and CSS code. And Google is essentially reading this specific code and all the tags that you tag in specific div elements. And a cleaner code equals faster page load and easier crawling for the search engines. So that is that. There's a couple of more things you could do. The other thing you can do is head over to pages right here. And whenever you don't have a specific page that you want live, you want to make sure that you hit this gear icon and you want to go ahead and change that specific page to be a draft mode. You'll notice by putting it to a draft mode, it says draft will not be published or indexed by search engine. Because if you're still working on a page or you don't want a page to be associated with your website, you want to definitely unindex that. So this is one way to do it, a draft mode. There's another way to add a robots.txt file, which I will not go into, but that's another way in the site settings. And lastly, if you go into the collection pages right here, you'll notice I've unpublished some of my collection pages because I don't want them to rank on Google. In order to do this, we hit this gear icon. Then right here where it says publish this collection template, you can just toggle it off. Very, very easy stuff. Lastly, let's go over to site settings and add two more things. If we head over to SEO right here, first thing we can do is make sure that Webflow subdomain indexing is off because we don't want to index two duplicated sites with identical content. The second one is automatically generating a sitemap. So you can see right here, I have the auto generate sitemap on. This is making an XML file. This is where Google can help you out. You can also add your Google site verification ID right here. And with the global canonical tag, you definitely want to put your main URL right here. So in my case, it was https://www.dereksu.com.au. That is what you want to do. And I kind of also alluded where it says traffic control. You can say allow search engine crawlers and allow artificial intelligent bots. So you can turn both of these on, and you can also add the robot.txt file I mentioned earlier right here. So these are really basic SEO optimization, maybe like intermediate. Let's move on to the actual nitty-gritty, which is point number 5, adding schema markups. So if we head over to schema.org, a schema is really just a bunch of code where, again, search engines really crawl to understand what that specific content is. In schemas, there's many different stuff, like a business, like an event, like an organization, like a person, a review, etc. So there's a really cool website called technicalseo.com/tool/schema-markup-generator. And I would strongly encourage you guys to just understand the premise, because that's what all my channel is about. Instead of giving you like exactly what to do, which I will do shortly, this is a concept. So we can go ahead and click this drop down and it's showing you the different schemas. So if you have an article on your website, like a blog post, you can use an article schema. If you have a breadcrumb, which is essentially a UI element, such as if you go on my website and we'll go into, let's say, for example, free tutorials, and we'll go into one of them, like this one right here, you'll notice it says where you are on the page. There's a home page, tutorial page, and this is a third level page, which is the CMS in-depth page. That's what a breadcrumb is. So we can go ahead and add a schema for breadcrumb, event, and FAQ. So you'll notice sometimes in my specific CMS, I have a page where, or I have a section where I specifically have 5 FAQ questions. So we can tag these questions as a FAQ schema markup, right? That's something important to do. And then we also have how to, job posting, local business, which I've done for my own site. But I'll strongly encourage you guys to give this a go. So for example, if you're doing a personal website, you can hit person, and you can go ahead and just fill in the relevant information right here. And you'll notice it gives you a script code right here, which you can paste into your Webflow project. But Webflow has recently announced this using AI. So heading back to my Webflow site, if we head over to pages right here, we can go ahead and hit the site settings or the page settings right here. And if we scroll down, recently, I already showed you can generate certain, for example, title tags and meta description. But if we scroll all the way down, there's a dedicated section now called JSON schema file. So we can actually generate this automatic, but we have to make sure we're on the actual page. So right now I'm selecting my about page, but in the designer, I'm on my home page. So I want to make sure that I go back to my actual about page, go back into that settings, and now you'll notice it allows us to generate a schema markup. So I hit this and AI is going to read my entire page and spit out a schema. Something to note though, it does say schema generated by AI, it may contain errors or inaccuracies and should be verified before publishing. So if you actually link your website with Google, it actually tells you if there is an indexing issue, but this is pretty close. So in this case, it's telling you that it's an about page, it's about me, it's giving the URL slug, it's a person, which is myself, it's telling you what my job title is, it's showing like the URL of my logo, and it's having all this information, like how I'm based in Sydney, Australia, based on just reading my page content. So definitely try to do this. This definitely helps out the search engines, and I'm pretty sure it helps out with like the AI search engines like ChatGPT and stuff. But notice you can do this with every single page. And sometimes, for example, if you look at my actual current site, and I'll go over to, let's say, my tutorial CMS right here, I actually add specific embed codes for a breadcrumb, like I mentioned. I can go ahead and pull in CMS contents right here. And I'll also add it, like I said, for my FAQs right here, which is if I go to my page settings and I'll go into my CMS template settings, you'll notice if I scroll down, I have my schema markup right here with 5 FAQ questions pulling in from CMS items. So definitely add schema markups. Definitely research what a schema is. I strongly recommend this specific tool right here, which will help you understand it even more. Otherwise, if you cannot be bothered, you can just generate it with the Webflow AI. But yeah, these are the specific 5 steps. I'm now going to move into a bonus point. So let's go into point number 6. Google Page Speed Insight. So this specific URL, pagespeed.web.dev, if we go ahead and just type in our website URL, dereksu.com.au, and hit analyze, what this will do is, this is a free tool offered by Google. It'll go ahead and read your specific website and your code, and it'll go ahead and give you a score between 4 different criteria as well as suggestions. So as you can see, it's spat it out. As you can see, I still need to improve my site. My web core vitals has failed. But what you could look at right here is a nutshell, like SEO 92, it's in green, that's good. Best practices 73, that's not that great. Accessibility, that's good. Performance 71. Obviously, sometimes you might have to sacrifice performance because you have a very specific element you need on your website. For example, I know I have a video file that's pretty big, which will affect performance, but even Apple.com doesn't even have 70, like they don't even have 100 performance. So this is just a general metric. You'll notice at the very bottom, it tells you suggestions that you can do. For example, this is saying that you can save 850 milliseconds of time by reducing these specific files. So for example, I'm running MemberStack.js, but I need that for my login and course functionality. It also might suggest to improve your images by compressing it from a JPEG to a WebP, which we've already discussed. Sometimes it also suggests contrast ratios. So for accessibilities, if you cannot read a specific text with a specific background and doesn't contrast well, you'll be deranked in SEO. That's part of the criteria, accessibility. So all of this is line items that tells you what you can improve on. So strongly recommend this. It also gives you a mobile score as well, which is really, really cool. And everyone can improve on their website, including myself. No difference, but check out Google Page Speed Insights. The reason why I recommend this is still in 2026, Google is the most dominant search engine. It may change in the future. I do not know what tomorrow holds. So why not use their own tool, and it's completely free. All right, guys, my name is Derek Su. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It took me a very long time to edit. These specific changes will definitely help you out in regards to ranking your Webflow site for 2026. And if you enjoyed this video, I've done a previous video on a checklist to make sure that you tick off before publishing your Webflow site. So check it out right here. Otherwise, please leave a comment and a like. It really helps me out. See you guys in the next one. Peace.